We're continuing on the halachot of Tisha B'Av. On the night of Tisha B'Av, we mentioned how we sit on the floor. We start with Al-Narod Bavel, and normally speaking, this not this year, but normally speaking, you would have the Kina of Oy Ki Arad Esh, but when it's Motzai Shabbat, you skip that. You just do Al-Narod Bavel and Ha'azinu, and then you start Arvit. Obviously, the Hazan considers the fact that this is Tisha B'Av as tunes of Tefillah are the sad tunes and so on. And the lights are dimmed. You put enough lights or candles that a person could see what they're reading. That's about it. בסוף איכה נוהגים שכל הקהל אומר בקול רם את הפסוק השיבנו השם אליך ונשובה. The end of Echa, when you read all the chapters of Echa, the Chazan says, and people say after him, he says it again, the pasuk of Hashivenu Hashem Elecha V'Nashuva. Chazan chozer ve'omra al pasuk ha'acharon ki ma'os ma'astanu. And then the Kahal goes back to say again, Hashivenu Hashem Elecha V'Nashuva, and the Chazan repeats it again. So that's how we end the night's recital of Echa. Achares yum kriyat Echa mechabim bebet hakneset ha'orot. You turn off the lights. You leave one source of light, one ner, one candle, on the shulchan next to the shaliach tzibur, for him to read the Shnot HaChurban, the years that have passed from Churban. It's like a little text that he reads. It says, Achenu bet Yisrael shema'u, ki ba'avonotenu anachnu monin lechurban bet miktashenu, v'risrefat echalenu. We are unfortunately having to stand here one more year and count the years from the Churban bet HaMikdash and the burning of the Echal and the Galut of Shekhinah and the fall of the glory of Klal Yisrael. Hayom kach v'kach lechurban. This is the days of the Churban. Again, this is the cheshbon that you could do is Rashi Avodah Zarah and Daftit explains that it comes ekev shanim from the Shanot HaYesirah. So it's a formula of how to cheshbon, how to find out and formulate how many years it has been. Oy lanu al churban beit hamikdash, oy lanu al serefat haTorah, oy lanu al harigat hasadikim. We mentioned the things that we mourn for, the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, the burn of the Torah, which is not just the physical burning of the Torah, but the unfortunate loss of the levels of learning and connection with the Torah, and obviously the harigat hasadikim, the fact that we don't have the same level of Torah, the same level of Sadiqim, oy lanu al sa'aro shel Mashiach. And obviously, the wait for Mashiach, that for generations we have waited, that's the text that's read at the end of the process of Arvit and Echa and Kinot afterwards. When you finish the Kinot, Omrim Kedusha de Sidra, we say the continuation of Arvit, the end of Arvit, we do after Echa and Kinot, and we start with Kedusha de Sidra, but we don't say the initial pasuk of Uba Letzion Goel, Ulshave Pesha Be'Yakov, because there's no Geula at night. We never say that. Like even on Motzai Shabbat, when we say Ata Kadosh, right? That's how it's said. We don't say the psukim of anizot beriti otam either. Shenireh kekoret berit ala kinot, because you don't want to say that on after having mentioned the kinot. You don't want to solidify anything negative by saying that this should be a brit. So therefore we skip that pasuk as well. ובסיום קדושה דסדרה אומר השח סיבור קדיש דו עתיד לחדתת העלמא. this is a special Kaddish that's said on the night of Tisha B'Av. Is the Kaddish that that's said immediately after burial. When you have a Kaddish of the mourners, the initial thing after the process of funeral. So you say that Kaddish of the Hu Atid Lechadata Alma, Hashem is going to renew the world, and so on. You say Shira Ma'alot, and we say Kaddish Yesh Ramah and you go home. That's the process of the night of Tisha B'Av. Now, the text of the Tefillah on Tisha B'Av was instituted to have an addition of Nachim. That's the insert that we have in the Tefillah of Tisha B'Av, which we say in the beginning of the bracha of Bonei Yerushalayim, right? We insert the Nachem in there, which the first half of it is a very emotional recall of what happened to the tzaddikim, the burnt Yerushalayim, the libi libi al chalalechem, me'ai me'ai al harugehem, the remembering of the murder of tzaddikim and the burning of the Beit HaMikdash, and then he ends with a beautiful sentence that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has promised, you destroyed it with fire, you will build it with fire. And that's like the one sentence of hope at the end. And it needs to be said in every tefillah of Tisha B'Av, Arvit Shacharit Mincha. Now, there are certain communities that they only say this in Mincha of Tisha B'Av, because you know if you're going to finish the Ta'anit, not finish the Ta'anit, and some communities have that minhag, but halachically speaking, according to Marash Charuch, this is an insert for the entire Tisha B'Av. Again, everyone should follow if they have a clear minhag, and these are the halachot of minhagim, or complicated halachot. Everyone should speak to a competent moreh hora'ah to see what would be the right thing for them to do. But this is certainly one of those areas that there are different minhagim amongst different communities, and everyone should follow their minhag if it's binding. The day of Tisha B'Av and Shacharit of Tisha B'Av, you do the Tlat Yadayim, as we mentioned before, until Perek HaEtzbaot, until the end of your fingers. We mentioned that Bet Yosef in the Halachot of Tlat Yadayim, Paskins Ikar Adin, like Aseh Al Mugim, that the Tlat Yadayim is at Kishrei Etzbaot. That's the Ikar Adin. So we do that to minimize Rechitza. That's not L'Sorech mitzvah. Again, this has to be explained a little bit on a deeper level, because it is, in the morning definitely is a mitzvah, and the Kohanim do it until the Perek Yadayim, until the entire hand, until the wrist. You say the bracha on Tlat Yadayim, you dry your hands, and if there is any lifluf, any thing stuck in the corner of the eye in the morning that you want to clean it off, you could clean that off as well, because that's not considered rechisa shel ta'anug. You say all the brachot, l'rabot birkat sha'asa li kol sorki. Now this is Chacham Obadia, who developed this. Again, apparently he himself used to say this, even from his youth, but he did not say this for the public until much later in his life, that on Tisha B'Av, the old minhag was that people would not say Sha'asa li kol sorki, because that goes back on wearing your shoes, Neilat Sandal, which you don't have Neilat Sandal on Tisha B'Av. So therefore, the minhag has been to omit that bracha on Yom Kippur and on Tisha B'Av. Chacham Obadia argues that, no, again, even the Ben Ish Chai and others write this too, but Obadia is the one that takes it halachically to the next level, based on the reality that these brachot were instituted based on the need of the world, not a single individual. And there are, the world is wearing shoes every day, right? I'm not saying the bracha for the Jews for today. I'm saying a bracha, sha'asa likol sorki, it's a takara on what's done on daily basis. So even though that today I have a aria de isura reviale, so to speak, I have a restriction, a separate restriction that causes me not to wear leather shoes, that does not stop me from saying the general bracha that was instituted on what HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides on a daily basis to His world, which one of them is sha'asa likol sorki, which people have shoes, people have tools to go about their life, and so on. So therefore, Chacham Ovadia is of the opinion that a person should say the bracha of sha'asa likol sorki both on Yom Kippurim and Tisha B'Av as well. Others disagree that no, when it's not dependent on you, obviously it's dependent on everyone, but all the Jews are yachef. Now, today, on Yom Kippur, today, on Tisha B'Av, all of them are yachefim. All of them are barefoot, so to speak, at least barefoot from the shoes that this bracha goes on, and therefore, we don't say the bracha on that day. So again, everyone should follow their minhag, but certainly a growing number of communities are developing this minhag to say, like a regular day, to say the bracha of sha'asa likol sorki as well. Now, kol hanotel yadav shacharit mivarech asher kiddushanu v'shtava b'sivanu al natilat yadayim. You say the bracha of al natilat yadayim, and you say the bracha of sha'asa likol sorki as well. We mentioned that the poskim are divided about this, whether or not you say on Yom Kippurim and Tisha B'Av, because everyone is asur to wear sandals, to wear leather shoes, and the Gemara in Brachot says in Daf Samech Amud Bet that when do you say bracha of sha'asa likol sorki? When you put on your shoes. It's a bracha that was instituted on wearing shoes, on having shoes to wear. We thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu that I could go around comfortably doing my things, sha'asa likol, doing all my needs. So therefore, it's a bracha that was instituted on having shoes. And Rov Poskim, both Acharonim and Rishonim, they agree sheyesh levarech bracha zo gam b'Tisha B'Av u'Yom Kippurim. And you could say this bracha on Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur as well. Why? Lefi she'en bracha ela birkat hashevach. This is a bracha thanking Hashem that the world as a whole has what they need. Part of that is their shoes. Right? Furthermore, you have a lot of comfortable, good shoes nowadays that you could go around and do your things. It's not that the bracha was instituted on leather shoes. There's prohibition of wearing leather shoes, but you can have slippers and do your things. That's also considered shoes as far as the bracha of sha'asa likol sorki is considered. Therefore, Chamadia feels very comfortably, very strongly that we should be saying the bracha of sha'asa likol sorki on Tisha B'Av as well. Now, there are those who have a minhag. It's another very big machloket here, that those who have a minhag not to wear talit and tefillin on the morning of Tisha B'Av, mishum shene'emar bisa imrato. Right? Baza profriya vechen en manichin tefillin b'shacharit shel yom Tisha B'Av. They also don't put on tefillin. Mishum shene'emar ishlich mishamayim eres tiferet Yisrael. The glory of Am Yisrael was thrown from Shamayim to Ares, and our glory is like Oter Yisrael v'tifara, is the tefillin. So Tiferet Yisrael was taken away, so they don't put it on the morning, and the level of Avelut in the afternoon of Tisha B'Av is a little less, as we know, so they put it by Mincha. Now, this was the minhag of many, many Sephardi countries, including our communities. Our communities, they've had this minhag as well, that in the morning of Tisha B'Av, they would not wear tefillin until afternoon. ורק במנחה של תשעה באב מתעטפים בטלית ומניחים תפילין ומערכין עליהם. V'chayom, says Chacham Ovadia, nowadays, Rov Batei Knesset B'Yerushalayim, most of the Batei Knesset in Eretz Yisrael, they put on tefillin on Shacharit of Tisha B'Av, like every day. Now this is against Maran, the Shulchan Aruch. And this minhag has to be obviously explained, but the developing new minhag is based on the mekubalim. The mekubalim say nowadays also shacharit should be with talit and tefillin, or a makif, or a pirimid, etc., etc. So therefore, we do it in the morning after Shabbat as well. Now again, this is one of those things that every community should really keep their minhag. There were certain cities that their minhag was changed, for certain considerations, but the general minhag of our communities has been that we do the shacharit after Tisha B'Av without talit and tefillin, and we wear it on mincha time as the day comes to an end. We'll stop here for today, and Be'ezrat Hashem will continue the next shiur. Chazak u'baruch.